What's going on YouTube? This is Chaos Rain here. I know I've been on Essences for a little bit. I like to fully explore the ins and outs of, doing a farm and basically how far you can push it. This is as far as I've pushed it. We are currently sitting on sitting on a whole bunch of blue juice, a bunch of remnants in case we want to switch our farming methods. I'll go into more of that in a second. And we have a ton of essences for sale, as well as just a plethora of overstock as well. The overstock is this. This is just stuff I've farmed a couple maps doing excuse me, doing some testing. And this is what we have listed currently: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 div worth. Whether they'll sell for that, who knows. Now because I've been making so much currency doing this, I have a very good understanding of what I can sell these for. In this case here, I'm being outbid by this guy, 118. Now I could buy all of this guy's stock and then resell them for a profit, but I basically could farm his whole stock and then some within the span of like a day, so I don't. And the farm I'm using right now, we are still using General Essence Tree, all the Essence node taken, every single one. Now we are doing this node here. This node turns off a lot of the strategies as well as makes it a little harder to get certain essences more often. Basically, you just kind of get what you get. However, because we are re-rolling essences, it doesn't matter what we get. We can just get piles and piles of the essences we don't care about and then just roll them over, hence why we're doing this. As well as we are we are also getting a ton of remnants of corruption for the alternative strategy, which I can go over in a bit here. I won't be doing that as a map because it requires a full different set of scarabs, and I'm not gonna do that. So the scarabs we are currently using is essence, 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 Scarab of Adaptation. We want to get as many essences as possible, and then one tier higher. We are doing white city squares, scoured city squares. And the reason we're doing scoured city squares is because in this farm, the mods don't matter. We're not here to gain anything from the map. These maps are bulk dropped off of a T17 using map drop strategy. You can get like 20, 30 of them in one map. And we just basically did that for this and for 8 mods. So we have 8 modded city squares for a different strat, which we're going to be going into shortly. For now, let's go ahead and get right into this. We are paying for the essence craft, obviously. Now this isn't the excuse me, this isn't the final version of this farm. You can farm it in different ways to get different things. It depends what you want. I only want the deafening essences. I don't want the 4 higher end ones, which sell for a lot. They're just rare because they don't come too often, and you have to use a lot of remnants to get them. We don't really care about them. We have farmed a few and sold them, but after doing all the testing we have done, we have realized that it's not really worth it. And as you saw by the node, if you use a remnant of corruption, it'll corrupt it to one of these random ones. That can be good. You can still save it if you get like the bad one, or not the bad one, the not a deafening, and corrupt it into something else. That is like a good one. But honestly, overall, we want deafening essences because we're flipping them with harvest. Now, this current setup we have is 90 all, excuse me, 90 all res with like 30 life gain, 30 mana gain on hit, leech, instant leech, and other stuff. You can do way more damage if you want to and just burst them down. I chose a survivability route because there are some essence modifiers that when stacked, it makes even my burst build not able to burst them fast. And when they have that many mods, it can become ropey. And you don't want to die, so doesn't matter. We usually beat, clear it, but just so we save ourselves the deaths, we have optimized this build to live. That is what I want to do. I don't want to die. Now, if you saw my last video, which was you've seen Faustus with essences to make a lot of currency, it is extremely easy to do, but it's not, it's very boring. You have to wait, and the big thing is you have to get gold, and when you're grinding a lot of gold as well as doing all that stuff, it's like too tedious sometimes. But we're still doing it. It's still a lot of currency, so we're not gonna not do it. No, they're all dead. Okay. The reason the reason why we chose City Square for this is because when you kill the essences, their essences get added to the boss. Now, because there's 3 map bosses here, it gets added randomly. The City Square is always the same layout. Rarely will you have something that surprises you. I had one just recently, but it's rare. Usually it's exactly as you see here, and you're just going to basically run around in a circle, kill all the essences, kill the boss. Contrary to what a lot of people do, they'll come in, kill the boss, but you can literally ignore the boss for the whole thing, so you can stack up all the essences, and I might have actually missed some. I did. Oh well. It's only 1 extra essence I missed, but, wouldn't be one of my vids if I didn't mess something up. Alright. Well, yeah, our character is very fast. We go super zoom, so running around these maps is super quick. You don't have to have a fast character for this. I just chose to do this map because I had a fast character, because it's super quick. Now let's go back to town. Now this is about average what you can get. You can get a lot more. I've had times where a lot of the really lower ones were instead, better ones. I've also had times where, because of the node that says you have a small chance to drop or to gain 3 additional essence modifiers, I've had times where it's at least half or more of them, and you get basically a whole inventory of essences. It's pretty random, but generally you can look at filling up a tab like this within 5-6 maps, maybe more. Depends. You can scale this even further by doing other methods. The method I'm doing is the easiest method for me, and it just goes through. Also, it as you see, it does not give you gold. You get some gold off of the rares, but it is not necessarily worth it. So don't worry about the gold aspect. I'm mainly doing this because if I want to do an essence strat in standard, I will most likely do something similar to this, just so I can burn through as many maps and as many scarabs as possible, and literally not worry about anything. When my build is more cracked and more tanky and everything like that, I will for sure make a updated video on what you can do, full juiced. The big thing is, when you add like 10 essences to the wrong map boss, it will one-shot you from halfway across the screen, and getting on top of it is almost impossible because of all the projectiles and lag. And yeah, so I'm trying to make a super tanky version of this character in standard. I will, when I get to it, when I show you guys, we'll go from there. But until that point, this is our simplistic version. You can do it a couple of other ways. One of the other ways is you take this node off. So you would take this off and go and get a scarab to replace it. It is this one. And basically, all you would do is take one of these out, put one of these in. Now you can take this a little bit further and spend a little more currency and get this one. If you get this one, this makes it so you cannot, there's 2 modifiers that show up that it isn't listed here. The two modifiers are add another essence modifier randomly. It can be anywhere between, super low tier to super high tier. I haven't added anything super crazy, so I usually get this. This will also make it so upgrading is pretty much guaranteed unless it flips. So basically, what we have is we are guaranteed to flip. Yeah, so this basically does nothing with our current strategy. Interesting that it works that way, but yeah, it does nothing with our current strategy, and it's pretty bad. But yeah, basically the reason why we're not taking this is because we have no pack size, no no mobs, which means way less rares. Now, when you have more rares, when you have more pack size, you get more essences, which is why this one is good. You can still do this because there are natural rares in the map, but often you're missing out on an average of like 3, 4, 5 odd rares or more if you have, certain other modifiers on your map. So we are doing just super, super cookie cutter, triple essence. Essence are higher tier, and when you kill an essence, it adds it to another one. And this is just like Exiles. When you have more essences on a mob, they get tougher. Um, it's just kind of how it is. It's a bit rippy. You can still die in a white map, but you'll clear it. It's super easy. All right. That being said, we have basically farmed up all of these. Uh, where is it? All of these. We've sold a couple. All of these. And as you saw in our currency tab, all of these. Now we bought these, so we're not including this. We might sell them. We ended up making the ring we wanted to make within like a couple of tries, so we got a whole bunch for no reason. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But this has just been rigging in the currency, and we have another big stack over here to deal with. Now I will say that if you are doing this strat, you are aware that, or if you are selling essences, you are aware that scorn essences are very expensive. I have sold probably around 400, maybe closer to like 300 div in scorn. I have 200 listed. I have another 100 or 20 listed. I have another 10 in stash, and I sold another 20 earlier today. So these are very, very, very easy to sell, and you can sell them anywhere between 1 to 10, 1 to 11, 1 to 12. Sometimes I will, if I'm feeling nice and someone has the buy list for 1 to 15, I will send them because I have so many essences. Why not? Um, I can't sell these fast enough. Usually people, or sorry, I can't hold on to these long enough. Usually people end up buying the lot. The fact that these are here is pretty rare. I have two competitors which will probably be fully bought out. I have one competitor, I'm sorry, the 1 to 12 at 264 that'll probably be bought out. Now, I could buy them out and just list them and, get a little bit of a profit, but I don't care. It's whatever. I farm enough essences as is. I make enough essences as is, so I just, it's whatever. These sell pretty decently whenever you have someone crafting a fizz weapon particularly. Now, if you see here, we have ours at 1 to 17, and this guy has 5 div listed for 1 to 25. This is a big profit, so this is a time where you can just go, hey, I have divine orbs. I want to buy all 5 of your listing. I can't because I don't have enough gold, and I don't feel like going to withdraw it, but this is an example of how I make a lot of currency too, is if someone's off, selling theirs ridiculously cheap, you can just buy it and resell it, and you can resell them fairly easy. I have sold a lot of essences over the course of this. I know there are other ways to sell it, such as trade site, but I don't have an essence tab. I don't feel like sharing my currency tab and listing things. I initially had something like that set up, but I didn't like it because I don't like sharing this. Um, I can unlist everything, but that's a lot of work. So, but yeah, this is where we're at. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. Um, if you want to know I believe there's one more strategy that I had mentioned. There was two other ones I said, but the last one is even simpler than the one I have. You can actually just run four of these and one of where is it? One of these. This is super cheap, very, very inexpensive. You can probably run 20 maps for the cost of, I don't know, a div. These are really cheap. These are really cheap. You can just burn through them also. Um, but yeah, it's really cheap to stock up on these. And when you do it with my current strategy, you basically just kill all the essences, go kill the bosses. Usually the bosses are a lot weaker because you don't have this mod, for example, um, and then you don't have a couple of the other ones. But yeah, anyway, as always, take it easy, have a good one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.